Hey everyone, Brento here. Welcome to Dump City. This is the episode where we finally see winter. If you notice the title of this video, that's a hint of what's to come here. So, if you've been watching the series, I keep telling you about how it plays a lot like Minecraft, in that you have to build until, eventually winter comes and freezes you. So that's what happens in this game. It's not. I don't think it's like in Minecraft. It's like the monsters come get you, but this one is winter comes to get you, and we've been working at it for a while. So I think what we'll do here is just let it play out a bit and just see what happens. In the last episode, we built this massive construction complex. Took quite a while, and it pretty much makes the majority of the stuff we're going to need in the city here. I had to reconfigure some of the tracks here to be lined up and working again, but once this is all, like, I've suspended construction on some of these here because they're not super urgent. But we don't need a cement plant, so it's kind of paused right now. And so we'll keep an eye on that. But we're just going to run in real time. We're basically 2 weeks away from winter. Oh, and we should probably check if coal's going in here. Okay, so we got some coal. So I guess the first thing we want to do is get more coal, because I don't think that's going to be enough. That will burn through right away. And another thing we're going to need is some workers. So we've got to find some vehicles to operate this facility. Now, I don't know if we have. Everyone's kind of busy right now. Once we have all this working, and we got like our asphalt and concrete churning out, we'll be able to build some freeways, and the city will start growing quite a bit faster. So far, we're doing okay for money. We haven't taken any loans out. It's been a bit of a challenge. I imagine most of the viewers here are either looking for background noise, because that's the market of this. If anything else, I can be good at that. That's my skill, good background noise. But other people watching this might be interested in the game, learning how it works. Maybe some other people are interested in my lunatic rantings at times. Sometimes that's interesting. I don't want to, you can't try to be funny. If you try to be funny, you're not funny. That's just how it works. The situation comes up. So if it's boring for hours, a funny situation comes up, we clip it out. Like, even all the shows that I watch, even my favorite comedians, if you watch them for long enough, that's just them yapping. It's not that interesting most of the time. It's the highlights, It's the situation that kind of unfolds that gets clipped out, and that's how it's made, right? That's Hollywood for you. But here, I just record and see if something happens. Nothing too interesting yet. I have some ideas. Oh, I could talk about my coffee machine. I think maybe that's a. So I have a coffee machine that I bought used off eBay for $10, and the pipes keep breaking on it, like they split. So I found that, like, there's little hoses in it that connect the heating element to the water, and it broke once, and then recently the other hose broke. So now I'm like, I can't make coffee, right? Because I put water in it and it just comes out the bottom of it. And the hose, if I cut it down and it's too short to like fit on the pipe properly, so it still leaks a bit. But I figured out the solution to a broken coffee machine, that when you put water in it and it's spewing all over the countertop, is take the coffee machine and put it in the sink, then brew the coffee. Like put it in the sink, dump the water, and then put the container there. And that's how I make my coffee now. Is that's the free solution, right? It doesn't involve me going to the store, and it's like otherwise I like the coffee machine, so that's just my solution to it. What I like to do is have like a rotation of crews, and the problem is you can't for a factory like this that's outside of the city. I could probably do this, clip this out, make this a little bit of a tutorial section too. But for workers outside of the city, or that aren't just saturating an industrial area, what you need is sometimes you need just deliveries right to the building. Like they just go to work, they get dropped off in the heating plant. But the problem is a building like this kind of needs to work 24/7. So if you drop them off, and then the next load's too far apart, they kind of like if the vehicles run out of gas, they'll start like bundling up together, and they're not evenly separated. So one of the interesting things about this game that kind of differs from other games, I don't think I've seen this in other games, is this idea of a thing called an end station. So you've got a few of them to pick from. And what they do is they kind of act as a gas station, but also if you add them to your routes, any vehicles on that route will be evenly spaced in their movement so that they don't, constantly jumble, like you don't have them overcrowded at times and then long stretches in between. So I was thinking it might be a good idea here, since we're going to need to sequence them with our heat plant staff, that we place a couple of end stations now. When you put these end stations down, you want to put them at the end of a route, right? So this is sort of where they start and end. So not only do they sequence, but they also have fuel in them, so they'll refuel. So I think we're going to have to get our workers from Mexico right now. I don't think there's any other way to do this. So let's put an outer perimeter here. So maybe around this lake somewhere. Yeah. Here looks like a good spot. Snap the grid. And there. Go there. Now we could add gravel to this later, but for now, we won't have time. I don't want to do too many gravel roads until gravel is being made in-house. So it's just mud roads till then. Okay, if that's the case, I think a good spot to synchronize, like other routes could synchronize here, maybe right at the heat plant. So when we go through the city with our bus routes, I think ultimately we're going to go into this district here. It's going to be part of the bus loop. So this is where everyone kind of lives, and this is where a lot of people work. Although we'll probably create some industry, maybe around here. I was just thinking of movies that were very interesting that I've seen. One of them is Memento. For some reason, a lot of people I talk to have never seen Memento, and I think it's because it comes across as like it's got a low subscriber count, so people don't watch. They go, oh, I'm not going to watch this. There's a percentage of people who just don't watch anything that's not popular because they don't. I guess their time's precious and they don't want to explore new content. So Memento, in terms of movies, for a lot of people, they've not seen it. Surprising amount. And it's one of the 10 best movies ever made. This way it was written, like it's the guy has a memory issue. You can figure, like this is a bit of a spoiler. Is he because he can't remember anything from a few minutes ago, for you as the viewer to understand his perspective, each scene is backwards, right? And because of that, you get to experience what he's experiencing, and like you don't know what just happened because you're watching the movie backwards, right? So the information gets revealed backwards, and it slowly tells a story. And yeah, a bit of a spoiler here. Maybe this is my Memento review. At the end of the moral of the story is, you are crazy. Like, you watching this, you have an insane perception of the world. That's what the take is on the movie. And a lot of people will watch the movie and not really get that and realize, oh yeah, this guy that's crazy and can't remember anything, that's the same as me that's either doesn't know anything and I don't remember things. And then I have opinions on things, and then I voice those opinions, and I'm just as crazy. But Memento makes you think about that. It makes you become aware of your own insanity. So it's one of the 10 best movies ever made. If you haven't seen it, you absolutely should. But I might have spoiled a little bit there. Well, it's still pretty good, even though I'm not going to get into too many of the details of the plot. There's some people who I would just rather, find out. But definitely a great movie. In case you're wondering about my shirt, in the previous episode, the feature was the shirt. So I actually am recording this back to back. This is the continuation of the recording from last episode. So I don't happen to have the same shirt on. We'll see how it does. I'm going to look at the analytics to see the shirt metrics, to see how much shirt affects things. Like, I think that shirt, quality of shirt, I'm sure there's been some research on it. I think there's people that actually get paid to do that as a job, to just look at analytics and, does a shirt matter? Probably. Like, I think suits and all that stuff, if you dress a certain way. One thing I do when I watch, I've been watching I've only watched up to episode 4, and I thought, it's not too bad. It's good background noise. Like, everything has a purpose. If this is, and again, I'm on that. That's my market. Background noise. You type background noise, I want all Dump City videos. That's it. I want to dominate the market. Because you're getting lots of listen time, right? People do radio. Like, they don't even have video. Here you got me on camera for hours, and you get to watch some random shit going on screen too. So how can you go wrong with that, right? There's going to be something for everyone. But I think background noise is the untapped market that if I really play my cards right, I'll get thousands of subscribers. I'm at 3 right now as of this recording, so maybe I'll have 4 in a week. Who knows? They say it's super hard to get first. I'm totally new to this. This is not like I'm trying this after a previous YouTube gaming career. I used to be a pretty competitive gamer before streaming games even existed, so I got the worst the worst role in life. I was a nerd before nerds were cool, and then I was a gamer before gaming was cool, and now I get into streaming, and they're like, "Oh, now you're just old, right? That's why are you streaming? You're old." It's like, well, how do I win, right? There's no solution to that, but I guess I got perspective, if anything else. So let's continue our transit route here. So we've got to, oh my God, this dump's full. These days fill up like nothing. When is this one ever going to? Okay, so we need steel. It's short on steel. It's high priority. What is the deal with this one? Neither Canada nor Mexico are the tariffs too high? Is that how economics work? Let's tariff things. See, the cool thing about this game is this is an economics game. This has things you make get crystallized into money. Like all things are measured in time. So even if you look at, and that's like if you've read Das Kapital, and yes, I have read at least the first book. Um, and that's the big thing. That's the big take on it, is that everything's measured in time. And if you want a good economy, you do things that are time efficient, right? But that then at some point gets translated to money. So let's say alcohol takes, let's say it's $1 an hour. It costs, $1 an hour, whatever. Okay, it would take 324 hours to make 1 ton of alcohol, whereas it would take 826 hours to make 1 ton of aluminum. But you correct for things like knowledge and stuff too. So if we look at electronics, like $1,300 per ton, right? Now, if you added up the materials here, that like each component that makes the electronics, this sells for more because you have to add time. Like this laptop or whatever or computer you're watching is probably marked up at least 2 or 3 times the time cost of all the components. And then there's the layer. Then you get to the finance and the money side of things, where there's scarcity. People will say, well, supply and demand is the thing that dictates price. That's purely what it is. And the problem with that view is if you purely subscribe to that philosophy, and it is true in some, like in nature, it's somewhat true. Scarcity in nature, supply demand works in nature, but in many markets, if the dollar dictates what you do, you have motivation to create scarcity, right? So that's why taxing the rich is a scam. Like it's a scam by rich people, and it does not help the economy. It's just because what it does is it incentivizes wealthy people to have more money, and then they now have the opportunity to, instead of creating more competition in, say, building houses, they will spend that money to create, food delivery services, Uber, a lot of services, maybe go to sporting events, just higher end things that, you don't need. They're not necessities, but they will put capital into it to serve their interests. And that has two negative effects. So the reason it's bad for the economy is because competition in a free market, you want as much competition as possible. So you don't just want to have, a small set of people building houses. If you instead had a few more people building houses, then what you'd be able, there'd be more supply, right? The supply goes up, the price therefore goes down. But anyone who's like middle class or richer, the stuff they need it's surplus stuff, and they want that, right? So that's getting developed while the competition at the lower end of the market isn't getting developed. So if the lower end competition isn't there, and the higher end is serving the needs of the wealthy, by the numbers, once you get into like the yachts and the supercars, like if you think about like buy a $2 million vehicle, that's multiple houses that were traded off for time, right? Everything's measured in time. So you can't just say it's trickle down. The people who built that car, or the money they got, can then be used on something else. That's not economics. That's actually just nonsense, because the time was used. Time's finite. You can't add another bonus free time in the trickle down step. That's why it doesn't work, right? You get one. Think of it as a snapshot of the economy. At any given time, if you're serving, the higher end of the market, which most of the businesses do, like probably, 70% of the businesses serve, 10% of the people, right? It's just, or in terms of revenue generation. So when you give tax breaks to the rich, that means all they can do is they grow the higher end markets. They don't, like, They don't invest in things like more houses. They have money, so they invest in the houses as assets. So they don't want the house prices to go down. So they're to ensure they remain rich. They'd rather not contribute to the market that would help poorer people. The general gist of it is trickle down economics don't work. That the best way to make the market as efficient as possible, so that like it should be one for one. Everyone should be able to eat. Everyone should have a place to sleep. Everyone should have some water to drink. Clean water. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That should be taken care of. And if that's taken care of, and that's one of the points of this game, like you see the happiness of people here, right? Like if you got all their needs taken care of, like 51% is not good enough. Like if you look at them, the average productivity of 30%. Like what are they doing? Are they streaming videos and not building bridges? That could be it, right? That's what happens if they're not motivated enough. There's if you were to take care of everyone and at the very least match them to their skill, because like some of the most brilliant people I've ever met are not rich people. Like I'll say on average, rich people are smarter than most people, but it's not a straight line, and there are some very dumb rich people, and I can't think of a single person like anything they've ever said or done that's worth $1 billion. Like Jesse Ventura is right. There should be no billionaires. That's just scamming. That's lying to the public to say trickle down economics makes sense. Give it to me, and then what do you build? Rockets? I don't know. Like maybe vehicles. Okay, but what are the price of those vehicles? Are they very competitive? Like could a guy who can't afford a coffee machine buy one of these things eventually? Like if you're just serving the high-end market with all that money, you're proving it doesn't work. You're just proving you're just taking money. So if that's the case, tax the crap out of rich people. That's the solution. And I would put, prior to Reagan, prior to 1980, the top marginal tax rate was anywhere between 70 and 92%. It was very high. So we need to return to that. We need to return to business licenses being contingent on your business operating in like the territory you're in. So if you're in Canada or you're in the US or wherever, that company's headquarters is located there if you want your license. If it's not located there, you can't do business. We'll bring in someone else who's a little less greedy, right? I have the skills to make Facebook. I know how to do it. I actually I've developed platforms like it, but I wasn't given trickle down free government money like other people were. At some point, all money starts out as public. That's just how it goes. Money's not, like if it is privately printed, there are some issues, and we don't know for sure. Like that's a reason for crypto in the future because you can kind of track what's going on, but the printed money system is not 100% controllable. But either way, in terms of taxation, you would you're better off to increase the top marginal tax rates go way up, and it'd be over if you make over 10 million a year, maybe, right? Not like if you're listening to this and you're like, I make 200,000 a year and I work hard for that. You might just barely be touched by that because you're not that rich. Like you're just barely cracking into. If you took all the people that took 200,000 a year, and everyone poured them that, 40% of the total wealth is richer than you. Those are the real problems, right? So you ensure you have licenses. Like you can't have to have a license to operate. You have to pay taxes in the jurisdiction. That would be the other thing. So top individual marginal tax rates, requirements of being in the jurisdiction. None of this offshoring shenanigans stuff. However, as a bit of an olive branch to the rich people, what I would also do to really, to cause the market to operate, the economy to be very liquid, I would basically say almost any expense you have is a tax write-off. like almost anything. Because the idea is you don't want to be um, hoarding it in an account, in like while people are living in rubble, right? So it's better to uh, keep that money in circulation. So yeah, you get taxed heavily. You can't hide it. You can't circumvent it. But at the same time, the more you spend it in the economy, the more tax write-offs you're allowed. So that's the thing I would do. So yeah, trickle down economics. There's a lot of other writings on this that confirm it doesn't work, and uh, the fact that all our politicians today won't go back to pre-Reagan tax rules, and before you could be offshored, and before now it's like the top marginal rates are like 30 or 40%, and people hide it, and then everyone suffers. If you're given that amount of money with the expectation that like there's an implied you didn't earn it, like you didn't earn $10 million, you only earned about 5 million in reality, right? Um, but you were given 10 million with the understanding that the other half would be taxed back. That's why society tolerated you having that amount of money. I don't know why the leaders today are so slow to do it, because it's just so obviously the solution. They just don't care about poor people. Is what it comes down to. They don't relate to it. Or even the average person. They just know how to say what you want to hear. They can get you to watch them, but they don't actually. They're Pulp Fiction, right? So whatever. Anyways, back to the game here. I think maybe a social media platform um, I'd like to develop with some of the skills I have is Dumper. What do you think? And you dump, you take a dump, huh? And it's just lunatic rantings. That would be kind of the theme of it. Just lunatic rantings. I haven't done any complaints about taxing rich people in the past. Ooh, there we go. That's a nice road. Um, so that's off the bucket list. It's one of the reasons I made this channel. It's just because I don't hear anyone else talking about that. If I had a few $1,000,000 given to me, I could probably put a lot of billionaires out of business in a few years. It's just with the people I know, right? It's billionaires, like I say, leverage and um, like if you can control the supply, you can control the price. So therefore, all things are best suited to be measured in time. Again, it's not a. I didn't say always. It's not always the most accurate thing, but it's better to do it that way. It's even the series I'm making. I'm putting very little effort to crank out a lot of content. I'm just sitting at a computer here playing video games, camera on. I have no other cost really, just the cost of the electricity and my time, I guess. But in theory, with enough views, might justify it. I'm at 3 subscribers last I checked, so let's see if that goes up to 4. Who knows? But that's one of the. That's me ranting. That's the show. Just taking a dump. But eventually, we got to get this road out here. Bob Ross used to go on tangents too. You just talked about random stories. If we want to create that, like that time I remember that time I was parked in the middle of a 5-lane freeway in LA. I was parked. I just put it in park. It was gridlock as far as I could see and no way off. And people were starting to park around me too. And I was like, if we want to recreate that with our freeway here, we're going to have to start manufacturing a lot of cars. And I think at that point it starts to go off the fiscal cliff. But once I get sort of tired of the series and I want to start another game or another topic or whatever, I'll start playing around with ruining the world. Things slowly become permanent in the world. You're never sure of something, right? You slowly accept reality. and make it curve. And yeah, our vehicle repair station and warehouse are going to be around here. And I think there'll be other stuff here. So yeah, they're going to work here. They get on a bus. They get on here. Then they go here. Then they go here. This could be a little further out, but I think we're going back again no matter what. So let's gonna lay that up there. And this will be our general area for it. That means I think our end station might make sense in this area. Like, we're not going to have many services around here. It's a non-stop loop. So this is when everything's the emptiest. At the end of the loop, so then it comes around here, goes over the bridge. Okay, so we went through there one way. We're going to hit this road. I think there'll be a road here. We can go through that either way. Then we can hit this here. Actually, you might want to put a bus stop over here somewhere. This will be our main loop. Like, we can do more efficient routes, like, as needed, depending on where the people need to go. I think, though, we'll definitely have one out here, though. Let's go about equal distance between the freeway and the inner road here. Add another road. And one here. So we go there, and then we go, there's another bus speed. That's a little close, but there'll be a lot of people are going to work here. And this might go the other way too, into Dump City. Where did this all begin? It was getting our immigrant workers into the heating plant. So now we're coming from this way, and then we have an end station around here. Or we could put a bus stop here, like a terminus end bus stop. I wanted to see what kind of... I think there's some that are just designed for that. Just a regular one. I could use a bus platform, I think. Small bus platform. Let's see what that looks like. So this is kind of, yeah, this kind of makes sense. This is like a one-way thing. And then any workers that work in this could be an industrial zone, which it, like, given we've got this huge steam facility here, I'm pretty sure that we're not putting apartments directly here. So this will be at terminus end. We'll probably put a big Trump statue or something right around there. When he socializes all the companies, he's going to betray all his billionaire donors. Why not? What are they going to do about it? Like, that's actually how all late stage capitalist societies. That's how they went to socialism. They just said enough's enough, and they basically they were fighting each other, and eventually there was they were betraying each other. They were no longer working as a team. But that's the biggest problem. Like, that's why it doesn't work. The they are not free markets we live in. They're controlled markets. So rich people tell us what to do. If they were doing a good job of it, fine, but they're not doing a good job of it. So that's why people say, let's try something different, right? But we'll see. And it's just changing some laws. It's not like there's going to be it's really just changing the taxes. It's not a huge deal, Let's do this here. I don't like, this will be a bit of a dead zone here. There won't be any buildings. So this is kind of like an unloading zone. This is where people get their entertainment from. I watch other people. They just, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that they just talk, and I listen to them for long stretches because it's interesting what they have to say. Like, just because there's a video game in front of you doesn't mean, oh, there we go, there's a nice road. Doesn't mean the rest of the content is nonsense. It's just clickbait, you know. I categorize most of these videos under propaganda, because everything is propaganda. Everything's it's like an illusion, right? You want your dreams are, you're programmed to want things. There's people out there who think they run the world because they're the masters of psychology. They can make you want things. It's the art of storytelling that I see a lot of these YouTubers. If they tell the story, it's interesting and thought provoking, then I listen to it. And usually there has to be some point to it, and it is the clickbait. It's what your topic of your video is will get me to watch it. If your topic is like, some people are in their own echo chamber and they can't really realize that their own ideas are not interesting to a lot of people. Like, there are just some really boring people out there that if you're like, one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I'm pretty sure I'm not boring. That the things that I do, like just on a weekly or daily basis, are definitely like just a wide range of things, and not stupid stuff too. Like, but some of it is stupid. Like, make no mistake, I do stupid things too. I'm not a, I don't do things purely to do the stupid things, but I have a variety of things I do, and I think I'm interesting, and I think if I come up with an interesting enough topic for an episode, someone will click it. And winter will show up. We're just a few days away. We're 11 days from the first snow here, and we do have to get prepared. Like, I am playing the game here and explaining to you how, like, the whole episode's working. Just because I'm playing a game that you might think is boring, just because I'm not playing a Path of Exile, and I will play Path of Exile in the future, because I've played 2 regular seasons of it, and I've gotten a little bit better. I think I can get to level 99 next time I play. I sure as heck won't be paying someone to play it for me, and then taking credit for it, and then going on video and showing I don't know how to play it. I won't be doing that, but like, even if I wasn't, it's still, come on, you blow up part of the screen and listen to the rant. It's me ranting. That's what this channel is. It's just taking a dump, right? Feel free to dump in the comments below. That's the whole point of this. So we got coverage everywhere here. All the people get on the bus there. Get on the bus here. We got one out here. Anything beyond this, we can build cars in parking lots. People are going to have, like in the suburbs, they're going to use cars. Okay? Just like real LA, right? You need the freedom to drive. That's what freedom is, your own automobile, right? Even though much of the world has lived without it, and most of the world, like, I have a vehicle and I hardly use it. Like, I get groceries. I think I'm going to sell it. I think then I'll buy a coffee machine with it. It seems like a waste of money. But there's some people who are really into that, I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't know if I'd call them interesting people, but classic cars, that's a whole other thing, though. Like, we're talking history. You're a history buff if you know classic cars and whatnot. But, people are always jumping on the latest consumer trend. That's insane. You'll never be happy. You'll be a slave your whole life. It's just, that's just how it works. That's how capitalism works. It takes advantage of the fact you don't know how to, you don't know psychology is not taught in school. Okay, I'm going to go on another rant here. Why isn't psychology taught in school? Like, this is probably one of the most important things that should be taught in school. At least understand yourself, understand those around you, and understand society. Just basic stuff. Like, why are poor people taught skills that are related to working in a factory? It's because as you get older, they want you to work in a factory, right? But you don't necessarily know. Like, the way it should work is you might enjoy the factory job. That you might have there's a certain brotherhood that comes with it, and there's a certain mentality, and you know, modern factory workers are much more educated than before. The idea of just when I was younger, I was a roughneck. I don't know, I would dig ditches and do grunt work I did it for 5 summers, and I earned money, went to school, became an engineer, and invented things, and capitalists said no, right? But the truth is, you know, in my lifetime, I've learned quite a bit about psychology. I've learned about propaganda, right? How to, get you interested in something, right? It's always that teaser. It's always that the well, I guess they do teach it a little bit in school. The grass is always greener, but they should take that story of the grass is always greener and expand it a little bit more. Like the car you could buy is a little bit better. Like you just got to connect it for some of the kids. And as you go further into education, I think a lot of people I know too. I won't say a lot, but some people I know, they're stuck in this rut of this uh, poor me kind of philosophy that I have had the worst life. Everything went wrong with me. But if you actually studied and understood psychology, everything happened for a reason. It wasn't, uh, you did something that in someone else's mind, it didn't work. What you perceived as the world was not accurate portrayal of the world. Like, I do my best here. I'm an older guy trying to stream on YouTube, and I know there are some older guys I do listen to that are quite good. But generally, I understand that I might not get a lot of clicks just because I'm older, right? Just because I'm older, because I'm automatically going to be discriminated. But I am trained to know that. I'm aware that psychology is a thing that you will. Everyone has in-group preference. That's the other thing. Like even rich people at a young age should be taught that you're going to have a preference for people in your own social class, and your things you're interested in will not be uh, necessarily interesting to another social class or another community or another group of people. So uh, that like the theory of mind is a big thing that isn't taught either. Like the idea that other things think and the way they think and what they're thinking of might be worlds apart from what's in your head. So if you think that they think like you're making a mistake. And this could be the downfall. Like if you're not successful at something, that could be your biggest mistake. You should have been taught that in school, somewhere in high school, just a little bit of it. Just teach these things. You don't, I never heard of the theory of mind till I was probably in my 30s. I never even knew who Edward Bernays was, or Bernays created ultimately the Holocaust. Like he created Nazi, or Bernays was read by Goebbels, who then created the Holocaust. And Nazism and whatnot. And you see it happening again today because no one in the world knows how psychology works. They don't understand all the parts, all these motivating factors. They don't realize that a lot of the stuff that they're being told is fabricated. That guy does this, that guy likes solar panels, so therefore he doesn't drink beer and get drunk and get in fights, right? That's misleading. We'll talk about astroturfing or something in another episode. I have that as a note, but I think most people know what gaslighting is, but this needs to be taught to kids. Like, I don't think kids generally even know what gaslighting is because they've been gaslit their whole life, right? Up to the certain point, it's the repetition of message. Why am I going to school at exactly the same time? Why, like, what's with the structure? Now, there are some logistical reasons to this, but you're being, trained to get used to it so that later on, when you get your career, you won't complain as much. And those that complain the least will more likely, rise the ranks. Those who go, wait a second, And some people notice that there are glitches in the matrix too. Like, why are we digging this hole and then filling it like 3 days later and doing really nothing? Is this job all made up? Is this just something that rich people do to keep poor people out of their hair? So, like, and it's just an excuse to give them money? Like, why don't we do UBI if that's the case? And some people don't like that, and they voice their concerns, and then they're unemployed, right? So I do believe that psychology, like just being aware of it, just for the mental health, like even you think about guys like Elon Musk. Like, I know I crap on uh, rich people a lot, but as a person, like uh, you don't understand the situations he's going through. Like, sure, he's got a lot of money and a lot of people helping him, but he could be like, and it most certainly is. He could have very crazy people around him, and he's so preoccupied with the crazy people that, that's why he's taking whatever drugs they say he's taking out to deal with his depression. Maybe been trained better in psychology when he was younger, he learned to accept it. Maybe go out, have fun a little bit more, right? Find something that is. There's a YouTuber out there. It's a black dude. I forget his name, but he's like off grid and lives in the woods. And I watch his videos quite regular. It's just his name in the video, and he reasons out what are good things to do. Like, watch guys like that. Learn from these guys. You don't have to study, Roy Cohn for life advice. Roy Cohn is not a good model. That guy is. He'll make you miserable. And so, the net effect of it is everyone who's poor is made miserable because we don't understand how, thinking works. And everyone who's rich is also miserable because we don't, I shouldn't say we because I'm not rich, but rich people then, can't deal with the thought processes of other people and their own thought processes. Like, they can't just sit back and be rational about it. Like, I chose to do this after a lot of thought. I didn't just one day come up with the idea and then decide, hey, I'm going to start streaming. I've been planning this for months. I have literally like pages of ideas for content. If you don't consider things like the psychological benefit, like I'm playing a video game. There's a lot of other things I could be doing with my time. So even if this doesn't work out, I'm getting, theoretically, if I get enough subscribers, if I make $1 an hour, I'm playing video games, playing $1 an hour, right? And that's a good deal. This is, maybe I wouldn't be explaining as much stuff. I'd be a little bit more self-absorbed if I wasn't recording. But to me, I enjoy this, and if I enjoy it, that is the best thing I can do in terms of, good for my mind, good for my mental health, and I guess that's some advice for pretty much anyone. Anyways, let's get back to it. We can't do too many of these rants here because we are running out of time. Winter's coming in less than 45 minutes. But let's go on and do this here. So a little bias to this side. So maybe this bus goes to San Francisco. It'd be a long bus ride. We'll set up some MK Ultra shops here. In a future episode, we are going to start developing this. Okay, I want LA. That is going to be the title. But for the first couple of winters, or at least for a year or two, I want to compare how happy they are. Like, look how happy they are here. They don't have anything. Mind you, a lot of the stuff isn't quite built. I think things will change in LA once some of this stuff's finished. And we've got to be careful not to go off the fiscal cliff. That was the thing that I just went spending crazy. I think that's one of the reasons why socialism... I think the key ingredient to make socialism to work would be you need some fiscal conservatives involved in the process. Like people who are just cheap, and they have a big say too. Like, not, they can't be just consultants. They have to be like final voters, and they can vote down things. But they can they'd have to break down the logic to it. You can't be giving out free stuff. Like, the reason UBI makes sense is because it kind of replaces the need of. It's better than a bank bailout, essentially, because you got like the money. New money has to get into the system, right? And it's. I actually might do an episode or a rant on that in a future episode. Actually, I'm going to make a note about that for episode 11. It'll be UBI. It's a big conspiracy idea I have. Again, I told you I'm insane. It involves UBI, crypto, and it'll be the new reserve currency. It's all the rules to it, and I'll explain how underwriting money, like what makes it legal tender, right? So I'm going to do an episode on that. This is an economics game. I like economics games, so I think about that. And again, economics is different than the actual dollar figures. Economics is, who knows? It's efficiency times scale. That's economics. Creating artificial inducing demand is poor economics. You can make you money, but when you induce demand, you incur other costs, and everything operates with opportunity costs, right? Everything you do. Now, there's reasons to induce demand sometimes, but I wouldn't do it if there's we still have people living in the streets, so we shouldn't be inducing demand so we can get our basic economy working. Okay, so we got all our bus stops, I think. And if we have to expand this out a bit to fit all our general separation buildings in there, so be it. Actually, you know what I'm going to quickly do? This is another thing I haven't described yet. So this is kind of useful. I'm not going to do it full setup because these aren't any of our permanent construction offices. But here's the real basic, quick way. If you want to assign groups of construction offices in a zone, rather than selecting multiple times and from an executive level, you can use this tool here. But because I don't think any of these construction offices are going to exist later in the game, so I better pause this here. I don't want to go into winter just yet. I want to make sure our workers can get to the heat factory. So in this view here, you can assign groups of them to these buttons. So just for example, construction office mode. So it's blue. So what I want to do here is find all the construction offices in this area and sort of put them all on button 1. This one here, I think. There's one around here. I thought there was. Where did it go? Okay, so these ones in this area are going to be on button 1. I don't think there's any more in the area. Okay, and on button 2, I'm going to I'll put these all together. I think Mexico and Canada got to work together to build America, right? Because they got nothing better to do. They got nothing better to do than to enrich the oligarchs of the U.S. Maybe that makes sense, though. Oh, you know what? We can overlap them, though. So we could use maybe one of these. Maybe that one that was up there by the... yeah, we'll grab that one, too. So all these in this district... I'm surprised we don't have one around here. But this is going to be, in the end, our construction office will be around here, probably. Maybe inside. It'll be in a zone where bus service is shoddy because they don't need buses. So that will be kind of the tactical placing of it. But, okay, so we've got button 1 and we've got button 2 assigned here. So now, if I go to assign construction mode, if I got number 2 highlighted, it will assign everything in this zone to number 2. So there. So now if we look here, we assigned Los Angeles, that one up there, Canada and Mexico, all in one click. once our permanent construction office gets built, this game gets like it's a mess right now. Honestly, I had an Amazon store and that was ugh, like Bezos takes all your money. It's just pointless. You have to be a certain size. Like if you're a big enough business, yeah, it makes sense. But an individual, it was just a waste. I wasted months of my life on that. Just a waste. It's just like there's a reason why I'm this jaded towards rich people. There's a reason. It's everything. I tried. I did things that I think in previous generations would have been successful at making wealth, but not in this generation because the system is completely rigged right now. And if you're not wealthy to begin with, you have very little chance. If you're not connected, or if you're not like super good looking or something, or super well spoken, you can have a few flaws, but you can't have too many. It's extremely biased. But the biggest one is just how rich your family was. That one is like there are no billionaires there are very few that started from literally nothing. Like one of the interesting guys to study is that founder of Domino's Pizza. That guy was just a regular guy, probably similar to myself, but you learn from it. He just had a basic plan, just basically operating like a communist. But that's the kind of person that would take over, would manage the food supply, right? Uh, his puzzle was to create the best pizza for the least amount of dollar. Like, what's the most enjoyable pizza? It was a madness, and it had to do with you got everything done, ordering time, every bit of the process, how fast between you thinking of the pizza you want to getting that pizza in your stomach. What's the methodology of that? All logistics. You set up pizza shops at the time. They kind of made their own ingredients, but he started creating distribution networks and distribution hubs that would bring, standardized cheese, standardized pepperoni, standardized mushrooms. So everywhere you went, you got exactly the same pizza. And it was because it was going to be at scale. He invested a lot of time into the actual quality of it, and it ended up being like I like Domino's pizza is my favorite pizza. Like if I can, if I ever get enough money to be able to afford pizza again, I would order Domino's pizza. That's I just it's these other fancy pizzas. I know there's one bite reviews, right? I get it, but it's just not worth it. Domino's it's predictable too. So I know the process that went through that. Like, yeah, maybe he could make it a bit more gourmet. But when I'm hungry, I just want to eat food. I'm not a coffee snob kind of person. Like I get the cheapest coffee. As long as it tastes, I get the cheapest beer. And yeah, this is what affords me to, not have to, go to the office. That's the benefit of it. I control my impulses. I use psychology to think about how much better is that coffee? How much better is that pizza? Is it worth the money? Usually no. Usually. I wouldn't, like, not always. Like, there are certain things I'll spend a little bit more. Like, not a crazy amount more, but a little bit more. Like, there's certain types of cheeses. There's a Swiss cheese that's really good. Jarlsberg. Yeah, that's, I'll spend a little bit more on Jarlsberg cheese just because it is just a better cheese. It's just got a nice everything about it. And it has flavor. Like the cheese itself, it doesn't matter what you put it on. Just the cheese itself, you could just eat a block of it. It's probably just got a lot of salt in it, I'm guessing. I don't know the ingredients. But, that's psychology. Everything's it's built out of basic parts, right? And just the other, how much you want to spend and what's the value of it too. Okay, so our bus network's coming together here. I think we're going to start. We never built our end station, so this is the route. We've planned this all out, right? Just to summarize again, this is the turnaround spot. Bus goes here, first stop. Bus goes, and it could go both ways. Reverse circles, right? Then the next stop is this stop here, and then it goes to this stop here, and we go here, here, and we might probably here. This might be a dead zone. Might be here, and we come back into the city. We then hit this one. Well, there'll be a road here once our LAPD is built. They're right by Skid Row. You should find a lot of hoodlums to arrest here. So we go through there, here, and we hit here, then here, and then back again. So, and I never did this in any other game I played. So this would make sense to be a good spot for an end station. Okay, so the end station, you build it. There's a large one, small one, small, large. We don't get a free one. Okay, this isn't super high priority initially. I think this is, maybe go with, okay, I don't know what the difference is between these ones. I don't know. I don't know if I could put it on the other side of this even. It'd be kind of cool. And they need electricity too. And this is also a good spot, because we have a depot here, they will, in theory, some of them market a heat plant. But for the immediate beginning of winter here, we want this might not even be ready on time. And that's the full cycle. That's the circle of life. There we go. That's our end station. So when that's built, and let's use our new express assignment tool. We got button 1. I think we'll go with, let's go with 2. So we'll assign that. So that's basically Canada, Mexico. Actually, let's put these on a button 2 while we're doing construction office. So we'll put Russia and China together. Assign construction office. There. And so these work together, and then we'll assign construction. So 2 per 1, less clicking, less fidgeting, right? Now we get that built. I think there's an underlying water that has to be built. Okay, this here. That's not connected for some reason. Okay, we have to, one last thing here. We forgot to buy the buses. I think, you know what? We're going to have some heat issues initially. It's just the way it's going to be. Technically it's -4 Celsius right now. So they already want this heat. They already want workers there. I think we're just going to have to, let's go look for a used bus. Actually, maybe we could grab some cars here. So we'll buy one of these. And then I'm going to buy some more. So just to give you an idea how this works. Let's buy here. We'll buy 2 more. Let's put that here. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to set a route. These people in Mexico, they're looking for opportunities so they can work for the heat plant. So for now, it's just going to be back and forth. and we'll start that route. Eventually, workers will come from the city, and this will be independent of the bus route. I want to have certain lines that are manned by cars. And we'll give this a name. This will be heat workers. And once you give it a name, it's permanent, right? And we can change that route later. And now we can go to heat workers and assign this one and this one, and then launch them. And then look for, we ought to use one of these. Where did it go? Is that it there? Or is it? Oh, it's there. We go back to our line view. And later we'll put them on the end station, so then the cars will come one after another, and it's always manned. That's sort of there's some buildings you got to do that in this game. So we'll set that up. We'll go like that, and once the snow falls, we'll watch it for a little bit. There it is. Winter has arrived. And watch. I'll have a look at this. I think I'll play a little bit. We'll watch the winter a little bit, because that's the topic of the video. Snowing in Los Angeles. I'm going to put that out. It's snowing in Los Angeles. Oh my god. What are they going to do? We don't have any active snowplows, or do they? Where? Okay, so what happens is, once, see, look at this. The first snowplow's gone to work. You could watch this for a bit, just because you've not seen this. So, the way the snow works on roads here is everything, it goes like less than half speed. So, if we were unproductive before, we're even less productive. I think pedestrians seem to magically walk just the same speed. Okay, what? Oh, that's not a snowplow. We don't have a snowplow. Oh, the road's not finished yet. This wasn't. It's plowing in the wrong direction. See? Oh well, that's a bit of a screw up. If you're gonna buy them at the start of winter, right? Let's buy a plow. This is a good spot. Like, you want to have them kind of on each side of the city. When the freeway's built, this game's so boring right now. It really is. Like, in the first playthrough, I got to way further than this. Like, this is only about 10%, and once you get your streets kind of bustling, unless you run out of money, it's quite exciting. Quite a bit more exciting. But that was my first try at it, and I sucked. So I still suck, but not as much, right? That's the Brento compliment. You don't suck as much as usual. Once we're generating some heat, I think we're going to call it an episode. We're going to get our workers in. Okay, so we're still bringing in coal. Well, it's going to take a while. These roads, I don't actually, you know what? This might take quite a while. Those cars are coming from a long ways away. Oh, they're about halfway there. Everything just moves slow now. Oh, I wonder if our dump's built. Oh, it is, finally. We've been waiting for this forever. So this is the dump they're all going to use now. Every one of them. This demolition office. Mixed waste, this dump. Every single building that builds anything. This we can blow up. I think some days it's kind of random when the snow falls, because it can get plowed and then it can snow again right after. Yeah, we're gonna buy one more plow here. This technical services office. Yeah, let's grab ourselves one more snow plow for this one. Oh, it's so much money, but I think we kind of need it. It's the start of winter. Winter's not so bad once it starts. Just everything, all productivity stops. Your economy goes to crap. people freeze, they get sick. They get sick in the game, and we don't have a hospital. We should maybe make that a slightly higher priority. Look at that, they just plowed it and then it snowed again. That's ridiculous. So why isn't it plowing anything? You see how slow the cars are now? Maybe just experiencing it a bit here. You see what they're doing? They're bunching up. So this won't even work properly. Yeah, I don't know where the other cars are. I guess we could look for them. I think they're probably close to Mexico by now. Okay, this one definitely is going to make it. Oh, there they are. Okay, so I think this one might be it. We'll ride this car to the heat plant. So we're going to get some snow plows. Ooh. Well, they opted not to go down the mud road. They realize this is too slow. See if we can outpace it here and finally get some heat into the city. Yeah, I tried to do this. We'll get a little bit of heat. I think I gave a disclaimer early on that there was a possibility we wouldn't have any heat in the first winter, but we're going to have a little heat. It's better than nothing. I think that'll reduce the pollution, and in theory, that should help with the amount of workers here that will be willing to work and their productivity levels. So I think we'll just watch this activate. We'll watch the smokestack kick in. %, production, just a little bit of heat, only 4 workers. And I guess that's the episode. Winter has arrived. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.